G'day everybody, welcome to a brand new Football Manager save for YouTube. My name is Damien and this is my very first ever YouTube save on Football Manager. I've been meaning to do this for a very long time. Ever since FM16 I've said to myself that I will one day stream on Twitch and do YouTube for Football Manager. It's a game I love dearly and I love watching Dr. Benji and Work the Space. Unfortunately doesn't put videos out anymore. But never got around to it. I've always said, oh, next year. And then this save kicked off, and as you can tell, we're already in the 2019, so we're a few years into the save. And I said, no, this save's too good. This is the save. This is the one we start the Football Manager grind, so to say, in terms of releasing content and for everybody to come and enjoy it. Because when Dr. Benji hasn't released a video in a couple of days, or you're up to date, and then Work the Space doesn't release videos anymore, and you've watched all these series back and over and over and over again, and there is a few other YouTubers that you watch, but when you're up to date with everybody and you run out of content, you get annoyed. You can't watch any more Football Manager, and you can only play, all the time while you watch people. There has to be more, and I'm hoping to be another one of those people that bring out some very decent content for everybody to watch. Since we're a few years into the save, we may as well start with the club itself. HK, as it's known on the game, or that name right there, which I'm not going to pronounce because I butcher everything when it comes to pronouncing, in the Icelandic Premier Division. The club itself actually starts here in the first division back in the first season, which is 2017-18 on Football Manager, and the club itself is quite good. In terms of facilities and that, generally we are in favour of personnel. There's a few players, there's a player I'll talk to you about in a second. If you go to facilities, this is the facility to start with, is that for the youth recruitment. That's the only thing I've done. Financially we don't have a lot of money, and I'll show you that, but extensive youth recruitment right now, which is very good, as that's the way I want to progress this save. Being in Iceland, money is quite a problem to make because the league is so low, and that's one of the few things I want to do in the save. The save's aims are to win the Champions League with HK, to get the Icelandic League itself into the top 12 of competitions. It's currently at 42, but after top 12 you get a TV deal and you start getting the money to come in, and you start turning over a profit, start being able to buy players, high quality players, which should help us achieve that dream of one day winning the Champions League with HK, an Icelandic club. And the lucky last thing that we want to do in the save is actually turn the Iceland World Cup squad into our own. Get a lot of some good youth Icelandic regions, get some players in from Spain, England, Argentina, Brazil, you name it, that won't play for those nations but are good enough to play for Iceland. And can we win a World Cup at some point in the future? The future could be whenever this save won't end until one day we either make it to a World Cup, make it to a Champions League, or we don't make it at all. In terms of the save itself, we may as well go all the way back to the start. We go all the way back, and today we will be bringing you a game in the first game of the season. We'll run through some results as well, but we go all the way back to the start, back into the league table, where the save began in 2017. As you can tell, we're not in the Premier Division. The grind came out in the first division, and there we were, HK going up as champions in what was a very good year. We won 18 games, drawn the 2, lost 2, and not just lost 2, got outbeaten comfortably in those 2 games. But as you can see, won the league quite well, and we're quite happy with that. Bring on to 2018, we won the league again in the Premier Division, just. When we say just, on the final day, we lost to the team we're about to play today in FH, who finished 3rd, and were favourites to win, and are favourites to win the season again. And ST ended up losing to this team here in Fodjnur. Can't pronounce any Icelandic names, apologies guys. And we survived and managed to get through. What that does mean is in the Icelandic Premier Division is first always gets a Champions League qualifying round spot, and then Europa League's divided up, I think, between 2nd, 3rd, and the Icelandic winner. Sometimes it's 4th, or the Icelandic Cup winner. If we get to the Cup competitions, we go back to our profile, and we should go to our schedule, I would say. If we bear with us for a second, we go to our HK fixtures, and I think we got the filters just for the Euro Cup because I was showing a mate about the save a bit before. We go down to 2017, and we go to, there we go, get that off, and go to Icelandic Cup. We actually won the Cup itself, which got us into that Europa League spot in our first year. In the second year, we go to show filters, we played in the Europa Cup, and we nearly against all odds made it through to the group stage in itself. Didn't look like we were. We were 3-0 down in this game, first up against some team, I think they're from Belgium, Bulgaria. 3-0 down at half time. Gave him a rollicking. 3-3 in the 78th minute, and then 78th, 79th, and then conceded basically from kick off the loose ball free. Didn't put my hopes on too much that a run was coming after that. I thought, okay, good showing at home, going to get beat away. This team's better than us. An Icelandic club, good place to start. 1-3-0 away, and I was like, oh, okay. Rapid Wien came out of the draw, and I thought, Rapid Wien, team everybody knows that pretty good in the Europa League usually, we're going to get beat. This game should have finished 4-5-0 our way. We couldn't put it in the back of the net to save our lives, which gave me confidence to play our fluid system away from home, which I'll show you in a second. And we got there. We won 3-0, and I was like, okay, not a problem. Then Vitesse came out of the draw, and I said, nah, now we're beat for sure, not a problem. Beating 2-1 at home in what was a very close contest. Very easily could have finished 2-2, 3-3. Could have lost the game 3-2. Keeper had a very good game. I'll show you our keeper in a second. A few good players at the club that have regenerated the club. It's very nice to have good facilities. And then away, we dominated them off the park, played them off the park, playing a very fluid attacking system instead of, a lot of people like to counter, and I'm one of those people against a bigger side who want to sit back and counter. Look, it was all pressure. Didn't do it with the boys. There we go. And that gave me confidence into this game against Atletico Bilbao that, we're probably going to get beat, but you never know what may just happen. And in the end, as much as we got beat 4-6 and 3-4, with the players we got against Atletico Bilbao, I was pretty happy with that. Move on to last season, or all competitions. This season. We've played in Icelandic Liga A Cup. It's just a cup, basically. It's a pre-season cup. Think of it as the Capital One Cup in the Premier League in English football, where it doesn't mean too much. And I just played at the start of the year to make sure everybody's fit and ready to go. Won that one. I think we won it also in our first year. And I think we lost it last year as well, or we won it last year as well. Not 100% sure. The Champions Cup's played between the winners of the Cup and the winners of the league. As you can tell, because we did the double last year in terms of the Cup and League, second place played us, and we won in what was a pretty good game. It was ahead for most of it. They put some pressure on late, but it was pretty good. Which brings us to today, which is against FH. If we go to season, league table and season preview, they're usually a team that is up there as the most reputable side in Iceland, and a team that we have not fared well against. We usually lose to them. But there's a few more things that we'll say before we continue into that game. First thing's finances. As you can tell, not much money. You get bugger all money for coming in. We've got 11k transfer budget because I changed a few things around. Spending well over our payroll and all things like that. If we actually go to preferences, we might actually change the way the payroll looks. We might go US dollars is fine, but we might just go into weekly because I think a lot of people like it on weekly. It's a new computer, this one, so all the saves are sitting there, not too much. Now we confirm that one there. And as you can tell, we're just over our weekly payroll. Committed spending is a bit high for next year as well. And don't have the much scouting budget either. Not much income coming in either. We do desperately need either a cup run in the Champions League or a cup run in the Europa League just to get the reputation up of the league, so more money comes in TV revenue and sponsorship. It is the beauty of a grind of a lower league. So the board loves me. After being here for a couple of years, we've improved the club structure quite a bit. Transfers philosophy has actually just changed, the club philosophies. We just had a new president come in and put in high profile signings and first young people for first team. I feel like this one here, the young first team youngsters, is not too bad. It's pretty good. Signing high profile players with no money is going to be quite difficult, and hopefully that the boss or the new chairman and board doesn't get on our backs too much about that one. Strange thing about HKs, every 2 years they elect a new chairman, or they have an election, and sometimes they stay on and sometimes they don't. The new chairman that we just came in just got elected over our old chairman, who was quite nice, didn't have any philosophies, so we're hoping this guy's quite good and lets us off. If we go though to what everybody wants to know is transfers. Damien, what transfers have you made in the few years that we've been here? If we go to the transfer section and we go to transfer history, we'll go and start from the start. And we go to 2017, all our transfers. We've got 6k on the out for this guy here, who's never going to play first team for us. Was here as a first team player. Can't remember what the club was now. IBV came in or maybe not IBV. This club here, Vertice, came in and said, yep, not a problem, we'll pay you 6k. I was like, yep, too easy. That is a great deal for me. 6k is a lot of money. We then needed a left back, and this guy isn't at the club anymore. We did just release him. Came in and played left back, basically with those stats. 33, came in and did a job. Go to his history, came at HK, had a really good year there. 7.15 was solid. After that, better left backs came available. He becomes service to the requirements. He plays once for the whole year, kicks up a fuss. We let him go on a free. Doesn't bother us too much. Ali Kamara is still at the club. I think he's still in contract as well. No, he's not. He's on a month-to-month contract. If we go back to Ali Kamara, just a good little fullback for us. You know, good stats physically, and that's what I look for mainly in my fullbacks, especially in the start of say. They've got good physicals, not a problem. Decent crossing at 8, which for the league is not bad. Marking and tackling at 10, it's not too bad for this league. And I said, not a problem, he could do a job, and he did come in and do a job in that first season. And to be honest, did a good job in the second season when he came a bit more of a rotation option. Hopefully won't feature too much this season. Actually probably looking to move him on and release him from the club eventually. But he's good backup, and if he wants to stay on a month-to-month contract, I might just keep him here for a little bit more time. Hansen here was another free agent I picked up, and with those stats in the first division, I thought, yep, very good player to have. Scouts loved him, potential was up to 5-star for the league. As you can tell, he's kind of dropped off and fallen behind the 8 ball as we moved up the leagues. Had a very good year and decided to loan him out. IBB picked him up, which is actually a first division club, and put him on a rotation there. Didn't really cut the mustard, and as such, we're not looking to play him too much at the moment. If another club wants to come in and loan him again, maybe grow him a little bit more, and then we can sell him next season, would be alright. I'm happy to sell him now, to be honest, quite as well. If a bid comes in, there's only a few days left in the transfer period. Haven't really looked to sell him at the same time, but mainly just to make sure that we have enough depth in the position. Lucky last one was Wasi from England. Wanted to get on loan. A lot of clubs do like him here in Iceland to pick him up on. Just good stats, really. Just brought him in with those stats. Hasn't really grown too much. And as you can see, came in and did a decent job, just as a rotation option, and now not really playing for the club. That was in that first year, and we signed a few people, but we're not done yet. Youth intake came about, and as you can see, there's a note on one little player. Welcome Isberg. Isberg, everybody. And yes, what a regen. Came in with those stats, very good stats. Determination was a 3, and we managed to get up to 8. I'm pretty happy with that, but look at that, and he's growing consistently. He's 18. There's a little bit of transfer drama around him, as a lot of clubs are interested in. And look at that, everybody knows in Birmingham, Bristol, from England, Middlesbrough, they've got money. Spal, Dr. Benji say, very good. Very good player that I would hold to ransom. I definitely don't want to sell at this stage of the save. His contract doesn't expire for too long. It's another year. He works at the club. He's quite happy. He hasn't asked to leave as of yet. Very much looking towards the late stage of this year to sign him on another long-term deal, just so that increased value goes up and we get a nice, if we are going to sell him, get very nice amount of profit, get the club out of, the financial trouble that it's in. But yeah, a player that I desperately want to keep. My scouts love him. My coaches love him. I think my best coach here is Jack Robson, the goalkeeper. Fans love him. He's really consistent, kills the league. They say he's well suited. He's a star player for the league already and got lots of more potential to grow. It'd be interesting to see how well we could go if he moved abroad, and that's something that when he does eventually move abroad, I don't think I could keep him forever. That he will be quite a good player to have a look at and see how he goes. But as you can see, youth intake was all done there. It was the only player that we really got. We didn't get anyone in this year here, but we did get up some good little pickups. No one else really we sold another person on a fee. Not really going to cut the mustard for us, unfortunately, but 2K is 2K, we'll take that. Ibrahim Diallo came in, left back. He's still here and actually had to play a few games as we had a little bit of left back trouble in pre-season. Had a couple of left backs go on international duty and had a couple of people get injured. As you can tell, look at those technicals for the player that he is, 2-star, very good technicals, and the pace wasn't down at 6 when I picked him up. I think it was down at 10 and he's dropped off massively. Determination was quite low, and something that the rest of the signings were brought in for was to bring the determination up to the club, because I like very determined players to help grow the youngsters. But technically, mentally for the division, he was quite good, and he did quite well in his time where he played most games last year, is where he played 19 games with 7, and he also played a game as a trialist, as in the Icelandic League, trialists can play in league games, which is quite a new dynamic. So sometimes you can pick up a trialist to do a job for you for a game or two. It's not too bad. Then we brought in this guy, Rudder. Now Rudder for us, unfortunately, is retired, so we can't see stats. He was quite slow, but very, very good in the air, very good marking, very good tackling. And most people that maybe support Bari or Italian footballs, we don't need to click on Italy there, probably might know who he is. 18 appearances, 4 games, captained the club in his 1 season that was here. Fantastic player for us. Tried to convince him not to retire, did retire, doesn't want to come back to the club as club as a coach, unfortunately. But yeah, and then we move to Stefan. Stefan is a very good tall centre-back. I do like to play with ball-playing centre-backs, but unfortunately isn't quite there to play a ball-playing centre-back. And at the time of the save, I don't think we're quite at the stage where we'll attract the players that can play ball-playing centre-backs. So as a defensive centre-back, he's quite good. Good headering, good marking, good tackling, perfect jump reach. 9 pace does the job in the league. It worries me with the Champions League coming up for this season that maybe, he might get found out and he might not even make it to the Europa League, to be quite honest, with the squad that we have. But good little player to pick up and a little bit of potential according to our coaches. They still fulfil, which is good, and hopefully he might get there. I'm actually going to play him a lot more this season as a starting centre-back. He played very much as a rotational centre-back, came from Evil on a free. He played quite well, 7.11. It's not too bad for a centre-back. Didn't score though. For a guy with his jumping reach and height from corners, you would expect him to hopefully notch a couple, and hopefully that is. Next one is Gearson, and brought him in mainly for his determination. We did a good job on the right, and still will be here again next year. He's only 27, so I don't expect the physicals to drop off, and the physicals are quite good for the league. Brought him in to Isberg, which was quite nice. But as you can see, did a good job off the bench, started a few games, and has always been in and around the first division of Icelandic football, as we quickly competition. Cut that out. Always been around Icelandic football has young Gearson, not young anymore though, but a very good player to pick up nonetheless. Todd Ward is now on loan, just loaning him out this year, but brought him in again. He had a lot of potential and he came from a very, very nice place, which I would recommend everyone to check out, the FA Centre of Excellence. Got quite a lot of regens that generate here at the club. A few people that I'm looking at here. I think there's a goalkeeper called Nick Barlow that I actually think when he gets released would be good to have a look at as a trial or maybe as a free. But from there, came from there straight to us and played a little bit, scored goal of the year as well in a cup game for us, but didn't score in the league, but did his job when needed. Good stats, glad to loan him out. My scout reckons that he's got 4 and a bit star potential, or 4 star potential. I reckon if he reaches there, he'd be a very good player for us in terms of a rotation option for many years to come, because when you're playing in the league, you're not in the Champions League, players like that are 4 star for the league, could do you a job and win games, which is quite good. As you can see, his marking for a ball-winning midfielder would be nice to be higher, but as you can see, good determination, decent physicals, and I think he, for a free transfer, wasn't too bad. Hopefully we can maybe sell him on for a profit if he doesn't turn out to be the player that he is. Next person was Halkudsson, experienced winger. I had trouble trying to find a left winger. He was released on a free, always played in the Premier Division. I said, you know what, don't care about his age, we're just going to snap him up. He played fairly well for KR in the Premier Division the year before. Why not? And he did a great job. Finally found a left winger of quality, of league quality for this season, so he's going to be on the bench as a rotation option. I don't mind keeping him at the club 1 more year. I expect those physicals to really decline though, then after that probably get released, or maybe if a club really wants him, they can come and pay a couple of K for him. But as a person to come in and do the job in 2018, it was quite nice. Marco Guerra. Now he's just come back from a long-term injury. This guy, he broke his foot in pre-season. I think it was a broken foot. We go to history and injuries. Fractured lower leg. There we go. He was out for a couple of months, but thank God pre-season he's back for round 1. Play him at right back, and what a right back he is too. Does remarkably well. Look at the physicals. Decent crossing as well for the league. Always seems to find assists. I love the work rate. I love the determination. He's tutored a few people as well. And as you can tell, really came in and did a really good job here for HK. 7.3, expecting another good year. Strange thing about him is that valued at 110k and his contract running out next year, is clubs can come in and buy him over for under his release fee. The reason I haven't renewed a new contract is because I'm expecting him to ask a lot more than 2.4k, and I don't think I can afford it right now, and I prefer to just open negotiations and make the player happy when I can afford it. So I'm hoping that no one comes in and really gets interested and starts sniffing around and starts bidding for him at any point in the near future. The lucky last signing we got was Melvin Neves halfway through the year, and what a player to get in, the Frenchman. Look at the mentals and look at the pace as well, as an advanced playmaker. On attack is how I play him. Wish the finishing be high. He doesn't finish many chances, and with 8 finishing, why would you expect him to? But he gets in the right position, cuts up a lot of play. I just love the look of those mentals, and he's arguably our best player for this season. In season preview, he's one of the 2 players that makes the team of the season according to the season preview, and as you can see, really great player and a good little midfielder to pick up. In terms of the youth intake, not much to speak of. No one really came through. And then if we go back to all transfers, we'll move on to this year and bring it up to date. This year, because we had no money, it was terms of who's good on a free that's young with potential, and that's what I went for. And Stephen Martin stuck out. We needed a centre back. That looks really ugly. That all his stats are really going down as I open that, because I haven't seen those stats go down at all. If you look at him, 18, Polish, and we sign him on a free from this German club here, playing in amateur football, playing for the Polish under-21s, and I said, yeah, not a problem, you can come in and play for me. Good heading, good tackling, marking needs to be improved, decent physicals for his age, would like the natural fitness. I think the pace and all that can increase as well. 6 foot, good determination and decisions, and decent off the ball leadership and good work rate. I thought that, for a free, he could definitely come and do a job. I'm actually going to try and start him for most games to try and get him the most growth as possible, because if he can get the 5-star, he'll be a really important player for us, and my scouts loved him. If we go to Siggy Fusson, new striker at the club. I'll show you our old striker as well. He's on the bench, but as you can tell, dribbling, finishing, outstanding. 5'6", unfortunately. Would love him to be a lot taller. I do like a tall striker. 11 headering at 5'6" is not too bad. But as you can see, work rate, teamwork, leadership, a lot of good stats to have as a striker. I wish his concentration would be a little bit better in his first touch and his passing as an advanced forward. But you could probably blame him as a poacher and get away with that as well. But really good little player. Picked him up on a free from IBV. He didn't really re-sign his contract because he wasn't getting first team football there at IBV, but then took a rotational contract with me, and I said, oh, that's not too bad. Shows that my club's going somewhere. 4-star potential, I doubt that very highly. Okay. When I signed him, it was 5-star, and my scouts loved him, and the coaches loved him too, but that seemed to drop off. I don't know why. But with those stats, I'm happy for him to bang in goals, and he gets the 4 stars, and a really good player for us as well. If we go to Ori Magnuson, he's our hot prospect. If we go to our club page, there we go. Picked him up also on a free. This one was from a club that is in Division 1 of the football leagues here. Played a little bit for them in their first team, 3 goals, 3 assists. Very good ball-winning midfielder. Very, very hard working. I love the technique mentals on this guy. His physicals are quite good. Technicals are less to be desirable. You want him to improve. Better pass, especially as a centre mid. Better tackling, even for a ball-winning midfielder. I am training him to play as the centre mid ball-winning midfielder, and it's more because I've known more out. He can get more game time as well, and hopefully he'll grow into a player that will be featuring the Icelandic national team very, very soon. Stefan Topuk is the pick of the signings, I reckon, left back, and on a free, playing the Turkish under-19s. Great crossing, great tackling, great stamina and pace. Wish that the mentals would be better, but I'm loving the 14 determination. Picked him up on a free from another German club, a German 3rd division, and came across, and I think that's an absolute bargain getting him on a free. And my coaches love him and think I think he'll definitely get to that potential ability, and he's by far the best left back in our club, and probably will be the best left back in the league when he grows into his potential. Only 20 as well, plenty of time for him. EJ Jonasson, and there's a few Jonassons at the club, another player just with a lot of determination, good potential ability, needed a backup cam and backup striker, and if you look at the stats, dribbling, finishing, first touch, determination off the ball, and a bit of pace, perfect little shadow striker, as I played with one, and I think that will be quite a nice little signing. Nicholas Brunt is actually our starting ball-winning midfielder. It's technically playing as a box-to-box midfielder, as you can see, but look at the mentals, look at the physicals, and even the technicals. Just a very, very, very well-rounded player. If you could put him alongside Melvin Neves, as you can see in the green, it's just perfect little circle, where Neves is probably a little bit more towards your creative, speedy centre mid. Brunt, complements that perfectly, and that is the dynamic duo that we'll go into this season. And like your lunch, Benjamin Trummer, another German, finally a left winger, needed one desperately, looked everywhere for a left winger, had a lot of left wingers coming on trial and then say, no, I don't want to actually move to the club, I was happy just to be here on trial. And then this guy popped up and I said, yes, pretty good crossing, dribbling, first touch, and good pace with good determination. And as you can see, he's really growing thanks to the football that he's playing. The fans already love him because he's played quite well in the cup. But as you can see, came from Germany, came from Mainz, and played at some time at Hoffenheim as well. Never played though for those clubs' first team. Always played in their their amateur branch of the clubs. But very good player to pick up. Another German player, and quite a few Germans that came in. As you can tell, because this season youth intake hasn't come around, and that is that in terms of transfers. People that going out was Tom Wood. I tried to have a look at getting this guy in on a free. Got to call him Brian. Won't even bother with that name. Just another player. Brentford was sniffing around for him. I don't know if he's still wanted by Brentford. He is. And Brentford are in the Premier League, and so whenever you see a Premier League club kind of sniffing for a player in and around something that you can potentially pick up, it usually means they have a good bit of potential about him, and my scouts really did like him. So I decided that as another backup striker, he's got some good little mentals and good little physicals. Obviously you want the finishing to improve and the passing to improve. I thought, not a bad player to pick up. I do love the fact that he's 6'2". But as you can tell, that is pretty much the save so far. I'm really excited about this save because it could really rival Dr. Benji's Work the Spaces Gibraltar save where he won the Champions League with Gibraltar. I'll link that save in the description. It's a great save. It's something like 190 parts or something like that. But yeah, great save, and the Work the Spaces work ethic in that save is something I want to replicate with hopefully my Icelandic save. As you can tell, we're in here against FH, and we'll definitely play this game and then call it the end of the episode. Most of my gameplay will be on Twitch. I'll link the Twitch down below. It's DAMI_23. Main thing why I'll stream on Twitch is because it's live. I like the interaction. I like chatting to the people whilst I play the game. But I'll always look to cut up highlights of the stream and show a live game for YouTube, just to make sure that you can release some content on the YouTube, and everybody that doesn't want to have time to watch Twitch all the time can watch the YouTube save. Now the rest of the players that we haven't talked about. Honestly, our keeper, gent at the club, was already a gent at the club, and he is wanted by a handful of people. Had 1k bid from Brentford and 1 mil bid from Brentford, which I rejected. Had the board accept it, and I rejected it thinking I could get 4. After that, they didn't come back in. But as you can tell, a lot of clubs coming in like Udinese and FC Metz coming in for him. Very good goalkeeper for us. At this level, and growing, and loves the club, loves myself, has a very good relationship. Feels a bit pressured by the interest in him, but that's okay. I'm thinking he's a future captain of the club with the leadership and the determination not being so low, but plenty of potential left, and I reckon he'll definitely get there. And I reckon he's going to play for Iceland's first team, international team, very, very soon. Very good one-on-ones that are constantly growing. That was down at about 7, it's now up to 10. Plays most games, and very, very good. Conceding quite a few goals, but I think we concede quite a few goals and then score a lot ourselves. Just seems to be how keepers are this year on FM and previous years. They concede a lot of goals and we go, and then they save ones that are amazing. And even if they save penalties, they never get over 7.5 match ratings, it seems. Been through Guerra, Martin, Afroe, been through most of the starting 11. My captain's Jonathan, just good leadership. Sucks about his determination. But very good cam, playing as a shadow striker just because of the dribbling, finishing, first touch, and passing. Doesn't have much pace, but seems to play very, very well. Very good player. Been through that, and we'll go through the bench. We've got Kamara due to the few injuries that we do have to Hullison, who is just a young prospect that I would like to grow. He's out with a hip injury. He's been out for a while. Lost him during pre-season as well, and just really sucky spot when that happens. Don't actually have a keeper at the moment, a backup keeper, because sent him out on loan. He was a bit upset that he wasn't playing much football. We'll look to hopefully get a free transfer in the near future for that one there. Anyone else? Bench, old striker, used to play for us up front as a poacher, and as you can tell, banging goals for fun in the first division, the Premier Division. I just feel like at 26 he's reached his potential. He's not going to grow too much more. Very good impact player, happy to be on our backup contract as well, so no point not keeping him in at the club, and that gives me enough time to hopefully either regen another really good striker for us, or look to buy or get in on a free transfer another good long-term striking option for the club. Anyone else here on the bench that we haven't really mentioned? Madison's been at the club, used to be captain, solid little player. Actually really wouldn't mind him at centre back just because of the 6'5" and his jumping reach and pace is pretty good. Just wish his technicals and mentals were a lot better, but used to start for us, doesn't start anymore on a rotation contract. Anyone else here really that don't really notice? There's a couple of people with notes that probably should have notes taken off. Robertson's a bit like Tom Ward. If he could reach that potential, be a really good player for us. I don't think he will, but anyone over 3 stars is going to do a job in the league as it stands at the moment. But that's enough of me talking. Let's get into this game, I reckon, against FH. a side that we don't have a lot of luck against, a side that I think we lose to quite a fair bit. Apparently not. I just don't feel like that we've ever played very well against FH at all, and they are favourites for the game. As you can see, they won one, which was that last day of the season when we should have lost the title and didn't. Drawn one, and we've won two, which makes me think I reckon both of them are in cup games. And the draw and the win for them was in last season's first season of the Icelandic Premier Division that we were in. But as we submit the team, we'll go yes into the next games. The teams will warm up, and we'll get this show on the road. As you can tell, they're playing with this 4-3-3 formation, 3 strikers, a formation that I really don't fare well against on Football Manager 18. It seems to be quite a good CPU formation. They've got a few good players. I feel like my players are slightly better than theirs, but their team, because of their reputation, plays very well in the game, and I find it very difficult to break them down. I am going to give them the "we owe them" speech, which seems to work quite well. I always tell them that I have faith in them, the boys. They seem to respond very well to it. And there we go. In terms of tactics, before we get going, these are the tactics that we always set out to play. We always look to play at a higher tempo, slightly higher, look for that vertical ball, play out of the fence with some mixed passing. We always look to retain it. We always tell my keeper to play out to his centre backs and then look to play. That's why I really would like ball playing defenders, but unfortunately don't have that at this level just yet, but maybe one day. Also with the numbers, I try to number players in the positions going 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 7, 11, and 9. Unfortunately, just because people want different numbers, new striker wanted 10, winger wanted 15 as his preferred number. It just happens like that. That's how it is. It does annoy me a little bit when it's like that. I'm going to send the assistant off, and we're going to get into this first game in against FH. As the boys warm up, and we'll look to go. We always play on key highlights, and I think that's good enough speed. We might quicken it up a little bit. There we go. And there we are, as Trummer will play Neves, and this is usually the promise line. They always have to start the game. Isber's going to make me excited, isn't he? That's one never mind, there we go. As we go into... Always love it when it's like that. Unfortunately, Achilles heel last season is conceding a lot from corners and a lot from counter attacks. But our carry was quite good. His front wins that with a great challenge, and Isber's got a lot of pace to go. Plays the inside, back close, and 1-0, HK. Johnson with a finish. That new computer's quite a good one. No, he doesn't take long to do a new computer, as Isberg here gets around his man, round the line, around one, comes in, back post, and eventually will play out to Johnson. And a great finish from the captain, fantastic, 1-0. And it's a good start for HK. And really happy with that. Dominating possession, that's what you have to do against a team that plays 4-4-3 in America. Have to really look to keep that ball, making sure they can't really break against you. As we win it again, and Trummer inside, we look inside for Neves, good little player, Neves Johnson, and we'll look the other side to Isberg, by far our best player on the pitch is Neves, and Guerrero is on the far side. Instead we'll go inside. Good passing move this, and hopefully back inside to Johnson who hits it, and off the upright. Would have been a lovely goal that one there. 20 minutes in, we're all over and over by FH, a fellow title right. We'll look to bring as many games as possible as Neves' ball. That's a great ball to Trummer. Please score that. Isberg back post. Oh, he's hit the bar. Could be 3-0 at least in this game. It was a great ball from Neves. Wonderful ball. As Neves again, we've given it away, and this is where FH has hurt us in the past. But forcing them all the way back makes it a little bit more confident we'll win this one. As that ball is a good ball out from the keeper, and here we go, very typical FH style. Ball inside, there we go, problems here, and it should be 1-1. Put it wide, thank God for that. And that will be half time here. Happy with that, but not happy that it's only 1-0. I'm going to give him the don't be complacent. Someone looks stressed. Captain looks stressed because he scored. I'm going to calmly tell him there's much more to come from him, and he seems motivated. Data averted. Not going to bother about Isberg. Isberg's looking calm. I'll let him be more specific. Any change at half time? I don't think. We look quickly at the analysis. I think we're very much on top, and I don't think there's anything else that will really change. Our assistant's telling us to pump balls into the box. I think we're playing off the park, so I won't listen to that one as well. We're going for the second half here. And this will be a pointless one, it usually is. We're going to make the commentator as they come down the right hand side. The ball back post, I tell you that's not a pointless one. I don't say anything to say, it wasn't convincing. And it's going to be a goal kick. I thought it was a pointless highlight until the ball went back post. And once again, the keeper's done enough. So moving into the 70th minute, we'll take a 1-0 win, but I ideally would like more as Guerra switches that lovely to Topak and Trummer will probably, there we go, plays it back and give it back to him. Yes, that's great. Great little bit of football. Back post. Ooh! Slice forwards. And this bird just stands there. I think it's going to be a corner, but really strange animations there from FM. Ball hits the bar and you've got Eastberg just stopped. As the corner usually leads to nothing, it'll be another corner. Some great pressure here from HK, but haven't really made it tell apart from the one goal. As Eastberg swings it in, and that would be well clear. And on the counter, there's Henderson with some great pace, and here we go, 2v2. It might be a chance here. Numbers are poor touch and Guerra's clear. That will be another highlight, thank God. And we've got to make another change here. Midfield is not playing too great. Barrington's got to give the young Ori Magnuson a chance here. The ball-winning centre mid. Only got 60 fitness match fitness, so we need to give that up. So time off the bench is pretty good. As Johnson will switch that ball to nobody, and I reckon they're actually on the break here. And more than just on the break, I reckon they've got numbers and they're going to come out wide and it's a ball into the box and surely this is going to be a goal off the post and Topak clears it away. Lucky there as well. Definitely are dominating the game, but giving FH way too many chances to come into this one. It hasn't been the greatest game in terms of us, and we've got to make one more change. The captain's going to come off. He will come off. I'm going to pause that there quickly just so we can make sure we make this change. And we're going to bring Johansson, which is a centre-back that has potential at the club, but hasn't grown at all. That was once 5 stars and never really grew. Gave him a lot of game time too, he never grew. Got to just drop Isberg and Trummer back a little bit as well for the last dying seconds. And I know a lot of people don't like to do this many changes towards the end of the game. I love it. I love just making sure that you grind the result out the time. Occasionally you get done. A lot of people just say you pump the ball. I like to keep it. If you keep the ball, they can't score. So don't be more disciplined. Stick to positions. No point having these guys on attack. Go to defend, and let's hope that we hold on. I'll keep my wingers on attack. It's only going to be another minute and something. So hopefully the ball goes out, make that change, and then we can be okay. As they might break with a minute to go. And this is the only problem about making changes is now we're in trouble. As Levin puts it wide. Make the changes, Thomas, get home, boys. Just bring it home. There we are. Keep it short. I don't mind that he's applying pressure here. Just keep it, that's it. Play it wide, that's it. There we go. Keep the ball, boys. And let's get home. Let's get that 1-0 win against FH, the side that's meant to win the league this year, according to the bookies. The bookies are right. We always do a good job at upsetting the bookies and hopefully making people a bit of money in and around. There we go. We should kick the ball. It should be game over quite soon. As Nevis will play the ball inside and gives it away. It should be game. I'm hoping it's game. And there we go. As gets switched. I'll tell you what, referee, it's been over a minute. Can we blow our whistle, please? And is that a corner? If the goal kick didn't just get off the head. It's been over a minute now, ref. Come on. And full time. Squeaky bum time here. It wasn't the greatest game of football to put out as your first ever video, but I'm going to tell them that it was a good win and well done. First game of the season. We'll lead the match. Don't think there'll be a press conference. As you can tell, the usual suspects of the league have won, ourselves included. We'll take that. Go to our inbox. No one got injured. And yes, I can't really believe that. Well, you know, it could have been a lot different today. And yes, he played well. I don't really care, and Ronaldo can win it. And there we go. And there we are. I reckon that will sum up the video. We've got a couple of days of transfer deadline day. I don't know if we're going to make some signings or not. It depends. But yeah, that'll be the end of the first videos. We'll give the game a save. Very important to make sure you save your games. But everybody, that will be the first episode of the HK Riot, the Rise of Iceland series. And hopefully many more to come. This is Damien signing off. Thank you.